And the only prescription is more cowbell.
I'm broken system, broken trust, and I approve this message.
For legal reasons, that's a joke.
I need that money. I really, really do. I need that money. I really need that money. Really need that money. I need that money. I really, really do. I need that money. I really need that money. Really need that money. Really, that money. That money.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Okay, guys. Sorry I was a little bit late. I opened up my earbud case and they were both, like, dead, so we're going to have to make do today. I also came ill-prepared. I have no water. I just have 2 energy drinks. So we're going to go nuts here. Legal Fiction for 1999. Happy 21st birthday, KFARR. Thank you. Thank you, yes. Today is my birthday. I will be streaming this stream today, or this stream right now. And I'll also be streaming later if I can find a video. I think I have a video in mind, but we shall see. All right, let's just jump into this. Let's see here. Let's see here. It's almost as if I forgot how to stream. There we go. All right. Let's make me a wee bit bigger. Because, well, we can. We have the technology. There we go. All right. Yeah, there's nothing going to be at the bottom right, I don't think. I found this on Team Skeptic's page last week at some point. Shocker. The guy sitting dead center of the screen. He's the sovereign citizen. Crazy, I know. Erica for $10. Well, thank you. Everybody wishing me happy birthday. Thank you very much. I'm an old man who has to finish painting my living room after this stream, so should be interesting. We are going to watch this in its entirety and hope for the best.
People versus Austin Wright, 25 CR 1212. I'll take appearances, Ms. Raines.
Morning, Your Honor. Katie Raines on behalf of the people.
Thank you. And sir, if you'd say your full name, please.
Let me know if you guys can hear it.
I am the living, breathing man, Austin James Wright, Jr.
Mr. Wright, I will consider that you have entered your appearance. I will say that I acknowledge your non-conventional entry each time requested. I don't know if that's an attempt to lodge an attempt at a sovereign citizen entry to suggest that the court does not have jurisdiction over you.
Yes, I also want to point out, my guy, if you weren't living and breathing, you probably wouldn't have been called to court. You'd be in the ground somewhere. They're not going to dig you up and bring you to court. No, so obviously you're living and breathing.
I will simply let you know if at any time I'm not aware of whether or not Austin Wright is present, I will have to issue a warrant for his arrest. I acknowledge your appearance, Mr. Wright. You have entered that appearance. There is no need for such a warrant this morning. Good morning to you and Ms. Raines. We're set for motions, and the reason the court set this motions, and it was an additional motion setting because the court wanted to make very clear to Mr. Wright that we were set for this motions and that the court wanted to clarify any motions filing deadline and the court's deadline for any plea cutoff. I acknowledge Mr. Wright's previous filing as it relates Mr. Wright, you filed a motion on August 4, 2025, and the court previously ruled on that. I acknowledge it just once again because the court recognizes that there have not been additional filings since then. The court recognizes the motion is based on a concept of corpus delicti. The court's already ruled. And Ms. Raines, let me look to you and ask you just to bring me up to speed on status, and I'll give Mr. Wright the same opportunity.
Yes, Your Honor. An offer has been extended. I can make a Lafler record. My understanding is that Mr. Wright does not wish to accept the plea offer and wishes to have a jury trial.
Mr. Wright.
if you guys have been around here for more than 5 seconds, you've seen me cover a bunch of sovereign citizens in court and a bunch of sovereign citizens in front of juries. And from what I've seen, sovereign citizens and juries don't exactly see eye to eye. It seems like juries overall hate sovereign citizens because they're all brain dead.
Right? Is that your understanding? Is that what you don't want to accept the offer and you want to go to trial? It is your right. I'm just making sure to clarify.
Well, there's a bunch of things that I have questions about.
Are those questions that you think you might wish to ask a lawyer? All right. Are there just personal questions that you are contemplating in your mind, or the questions you wish to ask Ms. Raines or the court?
Questions I'd like to ask her.
All right.
On the record.
Well, I can't be part of your negotiations with...
It's not a negotiation.
Help me understand, for example, what
I'm
you're...
just trying to-
Mr. Wright, hold on. We're going to talk one at a time. And so help me understand the nature of the questions you'd like to ask Ms. Raines.
The nature and cause of this action.
Mr. Wright, have you received the discovery in this case? Those are the police reports.
Some of them I still have. I was called yesterday that there's more discovery that I have to pick up.
All right.
Today.
Ms. Raines, any record on Mr. Wright's obtaining the discovery in this case?
I actually don't have a note from our discovery department about whether he did pick up the initial batch. I can tell the court there are, I think, 2 new documents. One is a CV for a crime scene analyst who fired a weapon, and another is a criminal history for the traffic victim in the case. The rest of the reports should have been available to him, and so if he did pick up initial discovery, he should have all of those initial police reports.
All right.
And I'm muted again. If it's not a KFARR stream, I'm not muted. So yeah, I think most juries look at the SovCit defense and see a petulant child asking for the laws not to apply to them. I'm actually going to point out a page that I have been currently, I don't know, let's call it doing research. Let's call it doing research. That is exactly that. It is exactly that. So I've been on the mean streets of Facebook for a hot second here. Okay, good. Not muted anymore. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I've been on the mean streets of Facebook for you guys. I joined a group called UCC 1-103, 1-308, all rights reserved without prejudice. There's 29,000 members in this group. And some of these people are so delusional. I have a short coming out on this guy called Sean Rafa Harris L., who posted his American State National card, trying to convince everyone to buy the booklets and buy this card because he's a resident of this state, but he domiciles in another state, and he doesn't need a license and all this shit. And it's just like, at what point do you take that to court and the jury just goes, oh, this guy's mentally disabled? That's what it's going to look like in court. Or that's what it's going to look like to the jury.
So, Mr. Wright, I'll let you speak with Ms. Raines. I'm not going to facilitate a discussion. I've given you an opportunity to file motions for me to entertain today. What I'm going...
I filed a motion, sir, and you set a hearing for it, and it was never heard, and you denied it. So I understand that I don't get a fair hearing here in this court. And I also would like to know the financial interest of all the parties in this room to the outcome or the process in this courtroom.
Here's the financial, shit going on in this courtroom. The prosecutor gets paid to prosecute cases. The judge gets paid to sit there and go, yeah, the law says this. Oh, yep, the law says this. Oh, flag on the play. The judge is there to be the referee. He gets paid whether you win or whether the prosecutor wins. So it doesn't matter for the judge. Like, he's just there to make sure shit goes smoothly.
Mr. Wright, your motion that you filed implicating corpus delicti, which I read to be pertaining to your challenge of facts and circumstances constituting an alleged breach of law, I recognize that the matter was bound over from county court to district court on June 18, 2025. In light of the charges, I don't see that you had an opportunity for a preliminary hearing. The court does not have to go through a probable cause determination other than what's afforded by law. And when there's an opportunity for a preliminary hearing, your motion I read to be one in which there is challenge of probable cause. I previously denied that request based on your plea of not guilty, your challenge that there's insufficient law.
Look, I didn't plead not guilty.
Mr. Wright,
You entered that plea for me.
Mr. Wright, you're interrupting me, sir.
From the bench.
And you see this shit all the time with sovereign citizens. Oh, well, you entered the plea for me. Yes, because you have XYZ things that you can plea, and you going, well, I'm not going to, say not guilty, guilty, whatever. I'm not going to say anything because that means the court case stops here. That's not how court works. The judge is just going to say, all right, well, I'm going to put in a not guilty plea for you so that we don't harm you in any way. And he doesn't like that. Boot body cam for $20. KFARR needs to learn the law. Some sovereign citizens have said that. I'm not going to lie. Some sovereign citizens have said that. Also, I will be available to play Arc Raiders probably after I'm done painting. Just a heads up.
Bench.
Mr. Wright, you interrupted me and I'm going to finish talking. First of all, you asked me why I had not given you a hearing on that motion. That motion I ruled on. I don't find anything further that requires a presentation of evidence or further hearing. I gave you until November 12 to file any additional motions. None were filed. Today we're set for that motions hearing. Mr. Wright, I've given you that opportunity. As far as your not guilty plea, I'm not going to cause delay waiting on you to enter yourself a plea of not guilty. So I entered it on your behalf, which is the option preserving your constitutional rights if you do not enter a plea of guilty. So that's why I've done
Attention to anybody's constitutional rights, and you don't try the law and you don't try the facts.
Mr. Wright, we don't have a jury trial. Today is not the jury trial in which we are going to try the facts. Now, Mr. Wright, I'm going to give Ms. Raines an opportunity to explain what the plea offer is. And Ms. Raines, if as part of the Lafler-Frye, you wish to go through the present 8 charges in which the court has entered a plea of not guilty on behalf of Mr. Wright, discussing what the possible penalties are, the court would accept that as part of the record. Mr. Wright, do you have something to write with?
Yes.
All right. If you wish to take notes of this, I'm going to ask if you've heard, understood this. This is giving some context of whether or not you understand there was a plea offer, possible consequences, and if you wish to then not accept that offer, which you do not have to take, and you certainly do have a right to a trial, including a jury trial.
I don't accept the offer.
I understand. That is very clear, but I need to make sure as part of the record
You made it very
what the
clear,
offer
sir.
is, because I don't know what it is, and we're going to make a record for your benefit what that offer is that you're declining.
So this is a court of record.
Ms. Raines.
Yes, Your Honor. I will go through the original 8 charges first. As to both counts 1 and 2, they are both Class 5 felonies. They carry the possibility of up to 1 to 3 years in the Department of Corrections. They are also probation-eligible offenses. Count 3 is a traffic 2 offense that carries a possibility of jail from 10 to 90 days or a fine of $150 to $300 or both. Driving under the restraint is a traffic infraction A. It carries a possibility of a fine between $15 and $100. Count 5 is a traffic infraction B that carries the same possible penalty as count 4. Count 6 is also a traffic infraction B, so same possible penalties as the 2 previous there. No insurance is also it's a traffic 1, so it carries a possibility of jail from 10 days to 1 year or a fine of $300 to $1,000 or both fine and imprisonment. And count 8 is a traffic infraction A, which again carries a fine of no less than $15, but up to $100. The plea offer that was extended to Mr. Wright in this case contained 2 charges that he would have pled guilty to. One was a defective vehicle, which was a traffic infraction A, so a fine of between $15 and $100, as well as a plea to a misdemeanor 1, possession of an illegal weapon, which carries the possibility of up to 364 days in jail or up to a $1,000 fine or both. That plea would have required Mr. Wright to forfeit the weapons that law enforcement discovered during their investigation. And part of the agreement was that I would not have objected to a probationary sentence. That was emailed to Mr. Wright.
So Grandpa Sovereign Citizen here seems to have made a bunch of oopses in one go. He just went full send. So he's looking at what seems like actual time in big boy jail, in prison, if you will. And it seems like the prosecutors, like, you're old, will kind of knock all these things down and you can go on your merry way. And he's just pissed off. As always, it seems like the Sovereign Citizen is pissed off because he was simply caught. That's it. That's why he's pissed off. He thinks he shouldn't even be here in this situation, and he's angry that he got caught.
On October 10th of 2025.
Mr. Wright, were you able to hear and understand Ms. Rain's statement of the charges, the possible penalties if you were convicted, and the plea offer?
I comprehend what she said.
All right. And Mr. Wright, I think you have made it very clear to me, but I wanted to make sure that you understood that. Is this plea offer to plead to a traffic A with a fine of $15 to $100 and a class 1 misdemeanor possession of an illegal weapon with an agreement that you would forfeit the weapon and no objection to probation? Is that something that you do not wish to enter into and that you wish to rather proceed to trial on all counts 1 through 8?
I want to first know who the injured party is.
Mr. Wright, let me ask you this.
Society.
Do you want to enter into this plea agreement or decline it and go to trial? Do you want to go to trial and not enter into that plea agreement? Because you answered yes, but I didn't know what you were answering yes to. I'm giving you a chance to clarify.
Member for 6 months. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Members are crazy to me, so I enjoy having members that are 6 months and longer. Thank you very much. Yeah, no victim, no crime. Corpus delicti. Even though they don't actually understand what the term means, which is aggravating. This whole no victim thing. Society is the victim. Society is the victim. If you drink and drive and you manage to get home, you still were drinking and driving. So if they stop you and you haven't fucking murdered anyone yet, still a crime. Still a crime. Are they charging him or is all caps straw man name? Parsons 1122. That is a wonderful question. Fargan Bastage, member for 2 months. Well, thank you.
I do not want to enter into the plea agreement, and I still do not consent to the authority of this court over my person. And it's come to my knowledge that there could be financial interest in the process of this court, of each of the individuals in this court.
Please go on. Please explain.
Mr. Wright.
That's a conflict of interest.
Mr. Wright, anything else, sir?
No. Does the prosecutor make any verified claim under penalty of perjury?
So to the extent that there was any request under Rule 97, the court does not self-recuse. The court does not recuse based on the oral request, suggesting that the court has any personal interest in the outcome of this matter. It does not. The court has no association with the parties or the outcome of this matter other than that of one of a professional association as disclosed in these proceedings.
Okay, gonna cut the judge off for a second. Let's see here. Ed, I'll get to that comment in just a second. We've got... Bang. Let me read this real quick. For 15 months. Dear Lord, that's a long time. No victim, no crime. Don't create joinder. And then we've got, for 5 months. Happy level up day. Yes, I'm stealing that. I'm not actually 35 today. When you get too old, they take away your keys. They should take away internet access from this guy. Yes, I believe Eric Martin is another one of those people where, for their own good, they should not be allowed on the internet because it's only ruining their lives. Also, the prosecutor's going to get paid whether she wins this case or loses this case. I forgot to mention that earlier when I said the judge doesn't care either. And you notice how he didn't actually say anything specific. He almost did the Chris Ryder "Trust Me, Bro," where he's like, rumor has it, I heard from the goldfish down the street that there may be a conflict of interest. And then he looks at the prosecutor, and it's just like, well, if you have something, say something, because maybe there is something. But you just being super ambiguous and being like, maybe, who knows though, that's not helping anyone.
We currently are set for trial to begin January 14. It's a 3-day trial with all times beginning at 8 o'clock. Mr. Wright, I'll give you the same courtesy and opportunity, but I'll ask Ms. Raines first. Ms. Raines, anything further for the record on behalf of the people?
No, thank you.
Mr. Wright, there are certain things that you are saying that I don't fully understand. It may be that you have some questions of Ms. Raines that you may wish to discuss in person by way of email or otherwise. Mr. Wright, anything further, sir?
Is the prosecutor making a verified claim under the penalty of perjury?
The court recognizes the complaint and information that was filed May 28, 2025, supported with the affidavit in support of warrantless arrest that was filed May 23, 2025. The court has read that. While there was not opportunity for a preliminary hearing, as Mr. Wright was out of custody, the matter was bound over. The court has no obligation to conduct a probable cause determination. In reviewing the affidavit in support of warrantless arrest, the court does not have concern as to probable cause in review of the affidavit in support of warrantless arrest, which the court finds to be sufficient in light of the charges. Mr. Wright, I'm trying to be quite generous with you to make record. Anything else, sir? No? All right. With that, we'll continue with trial. Mr. Wright, you continue if you wish. An option that you have is to obtain counsel. There is time. Our jury trial is set for January 14 at 8 o'clock right back here. Counsel, what I would like to address are some pretrial issues that I think it may be best to just address now rather than conducting another appearance unnecessarily. In respect for Mr. Wright's time, and I recognize he has to then come into court every time we have a hearing. Ms. Raines may be in the vicinity already, so trying to consider Mr. Wright's availability as well. Let me print this out just briefly for my...
I just want to point this out as well. My man is like old. Let's just call him old for me trying to be polite. He's old. He probably doesn't have much going on, especially since he's facing felonies. That's something that you're going to clear the schedule for. And unless you're somebody like Chris Ryder, you're going to want to take care of it in a timely manner. You're not going to want felony charges hanging over your head for years and just keep kicking the can down the road because that's dumb. Maybe I'm giving him too much credit, but he's probably going to clear his schedule and be like, yeah, I have court on this day. I am going to prove you wrong on this day using my sovereign citizen know-how. Yeah, so just give me the day. I'll clear the schedule on that day. I'll drop the grandkids off at somebody else's house, and I will come to court that day. And the prosecutor, that's just kind of her job, is to show up. She probably works in this building or like next door.
Note-taking benefit, and then I'll address some things about trial and what that will look like. Mr. Wright, Ms. Raines, I'll have you out here shortly, and I also recognize because I went late on another matter, we got a late start, and that was no one's fault but mine. My apologies to you. So we're set for a 3-day trial. Either of you have any reason to believe that we'll need less time than that?
I think that's a safe estimate based on the nature of the issues that may arise during trial. But evidence-wise, I expect we could likely conclude evidence on day one, at least from the prosecution side.
Okay. Mr. Wright, any opinion that you wish to share? What we'll do is then,
War of 1812.
Mr. Wright, yes, sir.
I have the right to a trial by jury.
And you have preserved that, and so what we are contemplating fully is that you are interrupting me, sir, which is not permitted. And so we will be prepared to proceed with a jury trial on January 14, as you've requested. Yes, sir. Let's talk about time limitations, voir dire, which is the jury selection process.
Excuse me, I didn't say that.
Mr. Wright,
I didn't say jury trial. I said trial by a jury.
Okay.
Maybe it's just me. A trial by jury and a jury trial seem to be the same thing in my head. This is the sovereign citizen word games where they make the same thing out to be two different things because reasons. I just want to point out before we get too far into this, folks, because I have the ability to do something, so I'm going to real quick, if I can get the buttons to agree with me. What we're going to do real quick is we're going to transition to the good old merch store, the KTZ shop. Let me hit some buttons. This is my favorite shirt, by the way. Just saying. We've got the Booze and Body Cam, we've got the KTZ, and we've got the KFARR, and all this. Oh, and the generally specific store as well. I believe KT. There he goes. Okay. I'm trying to do this on the same screen. Hey everyone, 10% off all KFARR merchandise with discount code BOOZE10 at thektz.com. And it will also work on the Booze and Body Cam / KTZ merchandise. Just throwing that out there again. This shirt, pretty cool. It's a duck on crutches because we feed duck feet to the dogs. That is that. That is the the shill for the stream. Back to your regularly scheduled programming. Again, if I can get the buttons to agree with me. Turn on the audio and share the screen. And we're back.
That means without a judge.
That request,
Right.
that request is denied. So let's talk about voir dire and jury selection. So voir dire, the process, we will have 25 minutes for voir dire with 2 minutes for replacement. And let me explain what that is, recognizing Mr. Wright is representing himself. So in the jury selection process,
recognizing that Mr. Right is actually Mr. Wrong. You're not going to have a jury trial. I just read this because Ed, he thinks trial by jury means a jury with all sovereign citizens. Now, I've seen this argument before in the past. The judge laughed, I laughed, we had a great time. They say, oh, a jury of my peers. That means people who think exactly like me. Incorrect. That just means who's ever capable of serving on a jury for that city, county, whatever. So you're fucked. You're fucked, Mr. Sovereign Citizen. And there's going to be a judge sitting there in his fancy robe going like this, just waiting to call a flag on somebody. He's not just going to be like, oh, now that there's a bunch of sovereign citizens here on the jury, I'm out for the day. I'm going to go golfing. Good luck. That's not how it works.
What we'll do is we'll have one alternate. We'll have 25 people in and in front of the jury box. Those people seated in seats 1 through 13 will be the presumptive jurors that will be selected. The person seated in seat 13 will be the alternate. No one is to inform any prospective jurors or jurors that there is an alternate or who that is. What we'll do is the court will conduct a voir dire, a jury selection, to make sure that there's no one who is by law not permitted to serve as a juror present. Both sides will have 25 minutes to ask questions of the prospective jurors. If there's anyone that is excused for cause, meaning that there's an extreme hardship or that they don't qualify, then there'll be need to replace those people from someone in the back of the courtroom, a prospective juror who has answered their summons. And so by replacement voir dire, that's what I'm talking about. And each side will have 2 minutes to ask questions. To be clear, jury selection will be based on, questions permitted will pertain to the appropriateness of a prospective juror to serve, their ability to follow the law, and to be objective. The court will limit opening statements to 15 minutes and closing arguments to 20 minutes. If anyone needs any parties, attorneys, witnesses, need any interpreters or Americans with Disability Act accommodations, I'm requiring that at least 21 days prior to trial that you notify me of that so I can find appropriate accommodation. I'll require the people and Mr. Wright to both submit to the court and file a list of possible witnesses that may be called, because I will ask of the prospective jurors if they're familiar with anyone in the courtroom, including me, you, any of the possible witnesses. And to ask that, I need to have a list of your possible witnesses. So I'll want that 21 days prior. to trial? Ms. Raines, and I'll ask Mr. Wright the same question. Do you have a request as to the old or new reasonable doubt instruction?
The people would request the new reasonable doubt instruction.
Mr. Wright, do you have any position on that? The Supreme Court has recently updated the reasonable doubt instruction. There is an old one we refer to. There is the new one now. Do you have an opinion as to using the old or new one, which would ultimately be the instruction to the jury as to what reasonable doubt is?
I would have to understand what they are.
Also, a flaw that sovereign citizens seem to have is that sovereign citizens don't seem to be able to read correctly, or they can read the words, but they can't comprehend what those words actually mean. I feel like that's what we're running into right now. Or, again, not to take shots at older folks, let's just say he seems to be on the mental decline. So there's that. Do with that information what you will.
What I will do is order that the new is to be used, subject to Mr. Wright timely presenting to the court any request to the contrary. That will need to be filed at least 21 days prior to trial.
Where do I find this new definition?
So you can go to the court. Do you know about the Court Resource Center, Mr. Wright? I didn't understand if that was a yes or no.
Yes.
Yes. If you go there, while they can't give you legal advice, they may be able to point you in the direction of obtaining what that is.
So he doesn't know that this changed. He doesn't know that there's an old and a new because he can't use the internet to find that. But he can find the internet to find the sovereign citizen dumb shit. He can fall down the sovereign citizen groups on Facebook, but he can't grasp, oh, there's an old one and a new one. Maybe I'll look that up. Maybe I'll Google it. No. Can't be bothered with that.
You changed the definition of probable cause?
No. Ms.
No.
Raines, would you agree that this is instruction on Colgy? I've got E3.
Good reason to
I
have
was
a
going to
lawyer.
just print this out for
Exactly.
Mr. Wright as a courtesy so that he could easily then see what the current one is and what the old one was. So, Mr. Wright, I'm going to print this out for you and give this to you so you can read this.
I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. I got to be careful not to give you legal advice, but this is part of the discussion.
It's in writing.
No
Mr.
shit,
Wright,
it's
we'll
in
ask the,
writing.
Judicial assistant to give this to you.
Hey guys, I don't know if you know this, but it's in writing. No shit, Grandpa SovCit. Of course it's in writing.
Thank you, Ms. Organ. Thank you, Mr. Wright. So 21 days before trial, if there's any objection to using the new, Mr. Wright, I'll receive any request. As far as live streaming, so Mr. Wright, one thing that we have going on right now is that we've got WebEx up. You can see that, but our legislature requires that in criminal cases, unless there are certain exceptions, that we also live stream, which we're doing right now, so that people can log in and watch these proceedings, and we don't even know who they are. Ms. Raines, is there any objection to the use of live streaming beginning at the time of the opening statement and throughout the parties' presentations of evidence?
No objection.
Mr. Wright, do you have any reason to object to that?
No, I insist on it.
Okay, then we'll certainly use that. We'll have jury instructions due at least 7 days prior to trial. Mr. Wright, you may present, if you want, a theory of defense instruction that I would contemplate and determine, as I would the people's proposed jury instructions, whether or not it's appropriate to present to the jury. And so if you wish to do that, you may submit that to the court as well. Also, within 7 days prior to jury trial. Mr. Wright, I'll let you know that because you do have the right to remain silent and that you don't have to disclose specifically your trial strategy, if you wish to submit that theory of defense and not submit it to the people, I'd consider receiving that, what we call ex parte, without the people receiving that for my contemplation, so that I could consider whether or not it might be something appropriate to ultimately go to the jury summarizing your theory of defense. It is not a requirement. You don't have to do it, but that's something that you may wish to do. That would take care of the pretrial conference, pretrial readiness. I would propose that we not have another hearing unless it's necessary or one is requested before January 14, Ms. Raines.
I'm sorry, can the court repeat that?
Yeah, any need for a pretrial conference, pretrial readiness conference before?
I don't have any need. If there is any, I guess, continuance issues that would arise on our end, the people can file a motion with the court.
Okay.
I understand the need for pretrial conferences. I understand a lot of things happen in pretrial conferences that, I don't know, are needed to maybe avoid wasting the court's time with trials and yada, yada, yada. But sovereign citizens, again, from experience covering these people, they will go to every single pretrial conference just with the intention of getting another pretrial conference. You see BSBT, that guy had like a year's worth of pretrial conferences only to get a jury trial and then flee the state. Or again, BSBT. I need to consult with an attorney. Only for the attorney to be a YouTuber that was streaming video games. And then he came back and said, yes, I consulted with this person in the chat that had nothing to do with this case. You get 1, 2 pretrial conferences, and then we got to go to court. We're not wasting any more time. We got like a minute left.
Mr. Wright, the next court date is January 14. That's the date for jury trial. Is there any need for a setting prior to that?
I don't see one at the present.
All right. You, as Ms. Raines, may file a motion if there's any need to, stating what you're requesting and why. What I've done is tried to address these things about jury selection today so that you don't have to come into court today and to help reduce the number of times you have to appear. But if there is something that I need to take up with you all, I certainly will. Ms. Raines, Mr. Wright, good luck. I'm going to excuse myself. If you do wish to stay and talk, you may. If you wish to be excused, you certainly may as well. With that, parties are excused, and the court has recognized we have passed the court's plea cutoff deadline, so the court has every expectation that we will be going to trial.
All right, folks, that's the stream. That's all I got. All right, we got, yeah, Artie's Corporate Fiction is an attorney. Yep, that's the one you talk, well, I guess that is the fake BSBT. So, like, yes and no, that's the one you talk to. I know BSBT got Artie's Corporate Fiction on the record. He got me on the record just by talking about us in court. So I guess that's my claim to fame. A sovereign citizen that got laughed at by millions on A&E mentioned me in a court case. Good times. Good times. I saw something about Chris Ryder. Flee the state just like Ryder fled Kentucky. I'm actually kind of waiting on an update for that because Chris actually had court today. I believe at like 9:20, something like that. So I'm waiting. I'm hoping him not streaming or posting anything right now means that he's in custody, because that would just be a great birthday present for me. The guy who's created dozens of victims would be stopped from creating more. I do have a lawsuit that Chris filed last month that I might show today or tomorrow. I am streaming tomorrow or tonight at 8. I believe it's going to be another Sovereign Citizen, but it's going to be a Sovereign Citizen traffic stop. I'm going to try to stream the borderline videos that I find where more or less there's a time where if it's over a certain time, I don't want to make a video because it'll just be like an hour-long video versus, yeah, like I'll just make a stream out of it and hang out. Yes, it is my birthday today. The 19th is my birthday. I have made it a thing where I stream every year on my birthday. I think this is number 4, number 5. Hey, Erica, it said 1/19/2026 at 9 something. So I don't know if they're being weird over there in that court, but yeah. Let me just double check because I can look it up real quick. Kentucky Kate course lookup. Or yeah, we're going to go to find a case. And yes, I'm going to be doing this all in the background. Let me actually move this up here so you guys can see me looking into the sky for no reason. Guest login. No, I am not a robot. I'm still not a robot. What do you want me to find? Oh, nope. Okay, cool. Ryder, Christopher. Search. We have got... Or was it 2/19? Did I mess it up? Oh, nope. You're right. It was 2/19. I got all excited. He does have something on the 21st. I think that's might be what I effed up. That one. That's his court case. 1/21/26 at 9:05. And then he's got another one, 2/24 at 3 p.m. He's got another one, 2/19. He's got 2/24, 2/24, 2/24, 2/24, 2/24. Chris is having a bad time. But yeah, it was the 19th of next month and the 21st of this month. My bad. I guess I could just share that today. You think some courts are open? So in my head, some courts are probably open that see crazy shit, but maybe not. All right. That's it. That's the stream. I'll be back later. If you see a random thumbnail for my stream tonight, that's it. I'm going to start working on a short, and then I'm going to go paint, and then we're going to do a whole thing. But yeah, that's it. Everybody have a good rest of your, I don't know, afternoon. And then I'll see you tonight at 8. Bye.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.